Hello everyone, I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. I was showing you last week the little shop in Rockville, Indiana called Vintage Relics. Well, the owner messaged me and told me that she had been getting some new clients in and she wanted to thank me for showing her shop. And I think one of the people that came in was from Ohio, I believe. His wife had been watching the channel and told him to stop there on his business trip and check it out. And they ended up buying some things, and she was really tickled that a new customer came in. And I think that it's going to bring them quite a few customers. And then Bloomfield's Antiques down the street, they contacted me and thanked me for showing the front of their building and their beautiful flowers and told me to stop in again. And I'm going to see if I can film their store so you can see how cool it is. And I want to film a couple more stores there in town and a couple more things to show you guys what a nice little town it is and all the things that they have. And then maybe I can end up buying some of the stuff that I saw that I thought I needed. And I just think that Rockville's one of the last towns that has that small town charm that we're lacking these days. You don't see too many little towns like this with a real dime store. Oh, I want to go in the dime store and show you that. The man that runs that's really nice, and I know he'll let me film it. And then the courthouse. It's just reminiscent of the old days, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Now, when you look at the map, the one that I looked up, it shows a really weird way of getting into Indianapolis from Rockville, but it's only about 58 miles. So you can just take a straight shot into Indianapolis if you're anywhere near there. So I'm looking at my old Victoria magazine the other day, and this edition is one of my favorites. I have all the Victorias going back to when they first started. It's my favorite magazine. This one is a 2021 issue, and was looking at some of the pictures. This picture is their dried roses. They have a lot of roses in that magazine, and then these are my dried roses. I get so much inspiration from that magazine, and I have for years. This is one of the pretty trays that I saw in their magazine many years ago, and just a few months ago I thrifted this pretty tray just about like it. And the girls on YouTube are like, hurry up, getting ready for Christmas. We got to decorate for fall and Halloween and get that out of the way. I just don't buy into that. I tucked a few things around the house the other day, but I just brought a tote up and just went through it, and whatever I wanted to set out, I did. Little pumpkins, a few flowers, some leaves. But I can't go full force on all that like they do. This is my little pumpkin head. I put those on a spring, and I just love them. And, of course, my pantry that I love so much. And my house is pretty much decorated for fall all the time because I like the earth tone colors and the oranges and the golds and the greens. And this is my little nature tree from last year. Now, I don't think I'm going to put that up until Christmas this year because it takes up too much room. And my dearly loved apple book that I got many years ago, I've probably had it for 15 years. I set it on an easel every year in the fall in my kitchen. And I just went around and tucked a few berries here and there and a few pumpkins. And, of course, I always have orange roses. If I find orange roses at the grocery store, I bring them home. And this is my little miniature antique store that you've seen many times. But the way I decorate my miniatures is just like I decorate my house. So it's all the muted colors as well. And this is my little antique store. And it's full of pumpkins almost all the time. Sometimes I'll take them out and put a little Christmas tree in there and bring it up and set it in my living room, and we enjoy it with the light on. And then my little fall stand, the little Johnson's Farm stand that I made many years ago, it's full of pumpkins and mums, and it sits downstairs with a little plexiglass covering on it. And then, of course, my little Halloween display in my country farmhouse dollhouse. So this is my shop. This is when I'm getting ready to decorate for fall, getting all my pumpkins out, but that was from last year. So like I told you last year, if you just tuck a few orange flowers in, or a little pumpkin, or this is like a little pear, I think. It's packed away with my fall decorations. My house is pretty much those colors, but if those aren't your colors, orange and gold and green and all those colors go. This is a little amberina pitcher I found. It's only like 4 or 5 inches tall. I found it a couple years ago. It looks nice for fall. And then this is a big wooden bowl that sits on a chair in my kitchen. And I just fill it with stuff. Underneath there's a little pit berry Christmas wreath. It's like red berries. And there's a few of those peeking through. And that little antique sign is a magnet that I used to make and sell in my store. Because when you have an antique style in your house, bright colored magnets don't look good on your refrigerator. So I made those. I found these little LED wire sets at the Dollar Tree. There are 10 lights on the set, and I just bought them to see what they were like, and I love them. I'm going to go back and buy some more. I put the little battery pack in the bottom of this bowl. This sits on my kitchen table. And put it around the little wreath, and then I put my battery-operated light on top of it. And this is during the daytime, but at night, it's just the right amount of light. It looks really pretty. And then, of course, my candy corn in the pretty amber-colored candy dish that I got last year. And then the little lights I'd say they're a little bit bigger than a grain of rice. And this is on my mantle. They're just perfect. I've got 2 strands of them on my mantle. They're like 3 feet long, maybe each package. And I bought 2 strands of them just to see what they were like, and they're just perfect. And this is, again, my kitchen table. It was funny when I put this amber colored thing out with the candy corns always in it. The first day I put it out last year, I put saran wrap on top of it. And by the end of the day, I realized we didn't need saran wrap on to keep the candy from getting dusty because we had eaten all the candy. I don't even like candy corn, but you pick up a piece every time you walk past. And this is a little amber colored votive that I set on my coffee table. And like I said, I just grabbed a few things and set them around. These are some old, guys, help me out what those are called. They're very vintage gold vases. I have 3 or 4 of them. I put 2 of them in my kitchen window, but I can't remember what they're called. And then I have some Victorian cruets. This one's about 10 inches tall, and I put orange dish soap in it and put it in the window, and it just looks beautiful. Now, orange dish soap, you can get it in the Ajax orange scent. You can get it in Dawn dish soap sometimes, but my favorite one, and it's not orange, it's more of a clear color, but it's Meyer's brand, and it's called, the flavor is Acorn Spice. Oh my gosh, guys, it's the most beautiful fall scent. So I use it quite a bit. But this is my kitchen window, and I have some little lights in the window too. And these are the orange roses. I just kind of sit around in the kitchen. I just like pretty stuff. And this is my pie rack, and that's the handle of it. I just put a garland of leaves across the top of it. And then we had some fresh tomatoes, so I set those on some of my pie plates. I've got 25 pie plates on this rack. I have plenty of pie plates, and I thought the tomatoes looked pretty there. And, of course, this won't sit there till Halloween, but he's a little pumpkin head that I got at the Covered Bridge Festival last year, and he looks very primitive and old, and he'll sit on the very top pie plate when I decorate for Halloween. And so I set some more pumpkins around with my fall dishes, and it looks real homey and comfortable, but a lot of times I'll just stick a leaf under a glass or something on my china cabinet because I've got all my white ironstone in the china cabinet right now, and I think it looks pretty. And then I have all these baskets hanging on a hall tree when you come in the front door because I take food to people and take things to people, and I can just grab a basket and set the food down in the basket. And so I just stuck one garland up there. It's just enough orange to show that it's getting to be fall. School just started. It's still August. And as you can see, those are some pictures that are always hanging in my house. And everything in my house kind of looks like fall anyway, so it's not a real stretch for me to decorate for fall. Although I have a lot of fall decorations. Gosh, I've got 2 totes just packed full. And I have a lot of green glass. This is just a single candle holder that I've had out forever. This is a little green mercury glass votive that I got at the thrift store. And it looks real pretty on the mantle with all the oranges and golds. And then the other day in the free bin, I got this big, tall glass bottle, and it says 1863 or something like that on it. I don't know that it's old. I don't care. I love it. It's got the most beautiful color. And I washed it out, and I put my olive oil in it. And I'm kind of wondering if it's not an olive oil bottle because they may sell them in the stores. I don't know. I haven't checked them out yet, but it's beautiful. And then my niece was over the other night, and she brought me this little cream and sugar set on this little tray, and I knew exactly where I was going to put it. My niece comes over about once a month on a Sunday evening, her and her husband, and we sit around and eat cake or pie and visit and catch up on family stuff. And she brought me this, and I told her, I said, Mel, I know exactly where that's going to go. And I put it on my little bar cart with some of my other stuff, and I just love it. It looks so darling there. Thank you, Mel. She's just the sweetest girl. I always tell her she's my favorite niece, but I tell all my nieces they're my favorite. And then this is my mantle. I have too much stuff, guys. You know that. I like my crystal. I like my cake stands. I like my books. I ran a strand of lights across there, 2 strands of those Dollar Tree lights, and then one big long strand of kind of a burgundy and gold and orange colored garland, leaf garland, and then of course my arrangement. And I just keep stacking things and tucking things, and there's a big platter back there. I just have too much stuff, and there's my little bronze colored acorn I got at Dollar Tree last year. I don't know, guys. I can't pass this stuff up. Nobody wants this stuff in the thrift stores, these vases and these cream and sugars and the cake stands. I thrifted this pillow. I know I've told you before I don't thrift pillows, but this one was so beautiful. It's orange crushed velvet. It's got the prettiest trim, and it's orange on the back, a little bit different shade. So I brought it home. I threw it in the washer. I think it was $1.50 maybe. And it's kind of a long bolster type pillow, and it's got the prettiest tassels on it. And the trim pieces are just beautiful. And yeah, I thrifted a pillow. And then, of course, it goes with my coffee table. It almost matches that scarf perfectly. And I go a little crazy and tuck more flowers. This is from last year where I tucked more leaves and roses into that bouquet and some more glass stuff on the coffee table. If you come to my house, you really do have a place to sit down your coffee or whatever you're drinking. It looks like you don't, but you do. I just like all my stuff. I'm crazy. And then this is one of my favorites on my coffee table. It's been there ever since I bought it last year at Cora's place. I got it for 50 cents. I couldn't believe it. The girl didn't have a price on it. And the girl said, 50 cents. And I love it. And then I think of Cora every time I look at it. And then these little hand-painted plates, they're just like little dessert plates. I've got 4 of them, and I use them for coasters. They're hand-painted, guys. They don't hand-paint things like that anymore. And this celery dish, it's about 12 inches long. It sits out all year long. I love it so much. I thrifted it for probably $1 or $2. And I just can't stop looking at it. And my carnival glass, marigold bowl. Oh my gosh, guys, it was so dirty when I found it. I got that last year for $2, and I just about flipped when I washed that thing when I got home. It's been on my coffee table all the while. And then those candle holders that I got last week, anything you put on a candle holder just elevates it and makes it look better. So you can put pumpkins on it. You could put a snowman head. If all else fails, you can put a candle on the candle holder. This is a battery-operated candle, which is mostly what I use. And there's the green mercury glass one, and then I have a red glass one I can put on it. You can just use those candle holders to elevate anything. One of my little pumpkin heads would look cute on there. So you can use those for anything. And then my books, I just stack my old books. I get new books every week. They don't want them. They give them away. This is above my washer and dryer. I didn't put any fall stuff out up around my washer and dryer because it already looks like fall decor. And then, well, I lied. I guess I did tuck a little pumpkin on the shelf behind my washer and dryer. And the Bunny Williams style lamp that I found, I didn't think I could fit it into my house. I think I am going to fit it next to my couch. I just have to get the proper lampshade for it, which I will find at the thrift store. So yeah, I'm looking through my Victoria magazine the other day, and I was enjoying it so much, and I was looking at these flowers in the magazine thinking, that's so my style. I realized looking at Victoria all these years, that's where I get my style from. There's my roses out. Those are probably from the grocery store. That picture's 3 or 4 years old. And then my girlfriend Julie, she brought me this sewing box last year, and I cleaned it up and it looked really nice. But the other day I decided to oil it with my favorite antiquing oil. There's 2 or 3 different antiquing oils that I like. One is Howard's. These are some embroidery flosses that I thought were pretty for fall. I got those at the dime store in Rockville. I love embroidery floss, and I do a lot of sewing, so I thought those colors would be really pretty. But this is called Orange Glow, and it's cheaper than the others, the regular antiquing oils, and you can get it at Menards. But look how much it changes the looks of the wood. This is my dining table, my kitchen table, and it moisturizes the wood really nice. And I didn't realize how dull my table was until I shined it up. I'm almost out of this stuff. So you can pick it up at Menards and it's really good. So it shined my little sewing box up. It's an accordion type that holds a lot of stuff. So I just kind of tucked it down by my by my coffee table so I can grab my stuff when I need it. Now this is down in my basement with all my primitive stuff. It's a print that my friend Dima passed away, and her daughter, I don't remember if her daughter gave it to me or Dima gave it to me before she died, but it's called Grace, and it's the most beautiful thing, and it was getting dull, so I cleaned it, and I did the technique with the glue stick over it to look like brush strokes, and I polished the frame, and it's just beautiful, and gosh, it reminds me of my friend Dima every time I look at it, and I just love him. And you should go online. You can see some stories about that painting called Grace. Just look it up. The story behind that picture is pretty interesting. And as always, you can follow me on Instagram at MarcyJo631. And I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and listening to me ramble on about my decor and my thrifting. And the Elvis project is going to be this week. I promise you, by the end of this week, we will be enjoying the Elvis project. I've been working on it and doing other stuff and trying to work on it more, and I'll show it to you this week. So I'm glad we got to spend this time together.